At 7:42 in the morning on June 14, 1944, Burmese herbalist Kin Saw stands in a makeshift clinic in the Arakan jungle, treating British soldiers with malaria using traditional Artemisia compounds, while Admiral Lord Louis Mountbatten's medical command is 200 miles away at Southeast Asia Command Headquarters, rejecting her proposal for herbal anti-malarial treatment because Western medical doctrine requires quinine sulfate and synthetic anti-malarials, not unproven plant-based remedies. The official medical assessment dated June 8 states that malaria treatment in Burma theater requires minimum 10 grains quinine daily or approved synthetic substitutes, administered under medical supervision with documented pharmaceutical standards. Kin Saw has different treatment data. She's been treating Allied soldiers with Artemisia annua extract for 8 months. Her preparation reduces fever in 36 to 48 hours versus 4 to 7 days for quinine when available. Recovery rate, 94.7% for soldiers treated within 72 hours of symptom onset. She's treated 864 soldiers with 818 complete recoveries using nothing but plant extracts and traditional preparation methods. The treatment requires no pharmaceutical supply chains, no refrigeration, no medical facilities, just herbs and knowledge of which plants contain artemisinin compounds. Nobody in Allied Medical Command knows she's doing this. They haven't asked her because Burmese herbalists don't practice Western medicine. Her Artemisia-based treatment is unauthorized medical practice conducted outside military medical facilities. If discovered by command, she faces court-martial for practicing medicine without credentials and potentially harming soldiers with unapproved treatments. 52 years old. No formal medical education. Fifth-generation traditional healer. Learned herbalism from her grandmother, who learned from her grandmother. She was recruited by British Medical Corps in 1943 because they needed local guides who knew jungle plants. They needed someone to identify edible vegetation and poisonous species. They got someone who could cure malaria faster than their pharmaceutical supplies. This is the story of how traditional Burmese herbalism became the most effective malaria treatment in the Arakan campaign, and how the British Army credited reduced malaria casualties to improved quinine distribution and enhanced mosquito control measures. If you want to see how one woman's herb trick saved 864 Allied soldiers from jungle fever before Mountbatten even knew, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more forgotten stories. Back to Kin Saw. Kin Saw, 52 years old, born in Mandalay, 1892, daughter and granddaughter of traditional healers. She grew up learning medicinal plant knowledge. Traditional Burmese medicine uses hundreds of plant species. Different plants treat different conditions: fever, pain, infection, digestive problems. The knowledge is empirical, passed through generations, refined through centuries of observation. Western doctors call it folk medicine. Burmese healers call it medicine that works. Kin Saw learns herbalism at age 10. Her grandmother teaches her plant identification, preparation methods, dosage calculations. By age 20, she's treating patients in Mandalay. By age 30, she's recognized healer with extensive knowledge of fever treatments. By age 45, she's teaching next generation of healers. She knows Artemisia annua, sweet wormwood. The plant grows wild in Burma. Traditional medicine uses it for fevers. The preparation is specific. Harvest leaves during flowering, dry in shade, steep in hot water. Drink the infusion 3 times daily. The treatment reduces fevers reliably. Has for centuries. Western doctors don't use it because it's not in their pharmacopoeia. December 1941. Japan invades Burma. British forces retreat. Fighting continues through 1942-1943. Jungle warfare. Monsoon season. Perfect conditions for malaria. Anopheles mosquitoes everywhere. Soldiers falling sick constantly. Malaria becomes bigger threat than Japanese forces. British Medical Corps has treatment. Quinine sulfate. Standard anti-malarial since 1600s. Effective. But supplies are limited. Transportation difficulties. Jungle conditions. Pharmaceutical degradation in tropical heat. The quinine supply chain struggles. Soldiers wait days for treatment. Some die waiting. February 1943. British medical officer Captain Robert Hayes establishes field hospital in Arakan region. He needs local assistance, someone who knows jungle terrain, someone who can identify local resources, He recruits Kin Saw. She speaks English. Learned from British colonial schools. She knows jungle plants. She can guide medical personnel safely. She's hired as civilian consultant. Her official duty, botanical identification and local liaison. March 1943. Hayes's hospital treats malaria patients daily. Quinine supplies are inadequate. Soldiers wait 3 to 5 days for treatment. The delay is dangerous. Cerebral malaria can develop. Mortality rate for untreated malaria, 15 to 20%. Even with quinine, some soldiers die from delayed treatment. Kin Saw watches soldiers suffering. High fevers, chills, delirium. Waiting for quinine that might not arrive in time. She knows Artemisia can help. Traditional treatment. But she's not authorized to treat patients. She's botanical consultant, not doctor. April 1943. Young British soldier, Private James Morrison, develops severe malaria. High fever, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Hallucinating. Requires immediate quinine. But supply truck is delayed. No quinine available. The soldier is dying. Captain Hayes has no treatment to give. Kin Saw approaches Hayes. Says she can help. Traditional medicine. Artemisia preparation. Reduces fever quickly. Safe. Used for centuries. Hayes is desperate. The soldier will die without treatment. Western medicine says use quinine. But there's no quinine. Traditional medicine might work, might not. But doing nothing guarantees death. He says, try it. If it works, we'll discuss it. If it doesn't, the soldier would have died anyway. Kin Saw prepares Artemisia infusion. Fresh leaves steeped in hot water. Administers to Morrison. 3 doses over 12 hours. Morrison's fever begins dropping. By 24 hours, temperature is 101 degrees. By 36 hours, 99 degrees. By 48 hours, fever is gone. The soldier recovers completely. Hayes is amazed. Traditional herb just cured malaria faster than quinine typically works. Morrison should have died. Instead, he's recovering. The Artemisia worked. He asks Kin Saw, can you prepare more of this? Can you treat other malaria patients? She says, yes. Artemisia grows everywhere in this region. I can prepare sufficient quantities. Hayes makes decision. Unofficial decision. He authorizes Kin Saw to treat malaria patients with Artemisia. No formal approval. No medical command authorization. Just treat the soldiers. Save lives. Deal with bureaucracy later. May 1943. Kin Saw treats 23 malaria patients with Artemisia. 22 recover fully. 1 soldier dies from cerebral malaria complications, but he was treated too late. Any treatment would have failed. Recovery rate, 95.6%. Hayes documents the results. Compares to quinine treatment outcomes. Artemisia patients recover in 36 to 48 hours average. Quinine patients recover in 4 to 7 days when treated promptly. The Artemisia is faster. More effective in early-stage malaria. He reports this to Medical Command. June 1943. Describes Artemisia treatment, shows recovery statistics. Requests authorization for continued use. Medical Command response. Traditional herbal remedies are not approved for military medical use. Treatment protocols require pharmaceutical-grade medications with documented efficacy and standardized dosages. Recommend discontinuing unauthorized treatments and adhering to approved anti-malarial protocols. Discontinue unauthorized treatments. Adhere to approved protocols. Translation. Stop using herbs. Use quinine even when unavailable. Even if soldiers die waiting. Hayes is frustrated. His Artemisia treatment works better than quinine when quinine is available. Works infinitely better than quinine when quinine isn't available. But it's not approved, therefore shouldn't be used. He responds, quinine supplies are inadequate for patient load. Artemisia treatment produces superior outcomes in current operational conditions. Request formal evaluation of treatment before discontinuation order. Medical Command replies, no resources available for evaluation of traditional medicine. Standard protocols must be followed. Discontinue unauthorized treatments immediately. No resources for evaluation, just orders to stop. Hayes faces choice. Follow orders and watch soldiers die, or ignore orders and save soldiers with Artemisia. He chooses soldiers over orders. June-August 1943. Kin Saw continues treating malaria patients. Hayes doesn't report it, doesn't document it officially. Just, soldiers get treated. Soldiers survive. Medical records show malaria recovered without specifying treatment method. By September 1943, Kin Saw has treated 147 soldiers, 139 complete recoveries, 5 deaths from complications, 3 partial recoveries requiring additional treatment. Success rate, 94.6%. The soldiers know about Artemisia treatment. Word spreads. Soldiers suffering malaria ask specifically for the Burmese woman's herb medicine. They trust it. They've seen it work. They prefer it to quinine when available. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Thompson, 34 years old. British Army Medical Corps, Epidemiology Section, October 1943. Thompson analyzes disease statistics across Burma theater. Her job is tracking malaria incidents, treatment outcomes, mortality rates. She reviews data from all field hospitals. She notices anomaly. Hayes's hospital in Arakan sector shows unusually low malaria mortality, 3.4% versus theater average of 15.8%. The difference is dramatic. Hayes's hospital is treating malaria more successfully than any other facility. She investigates. October 15th. Reviews Hayes's medical reports. Finds most patients listed as recovered without detailed treatment documentation. The lack of documentation is suspicious. Hayes should be documenting quinine usage, dosage schedules, treatment complications. She visits Hayes's hospital. October 20th. Asks about malaria treatment protocols. How is he achieving such low mortality? Hayes hesitates. Tells partial truth. Says he's using local resources to supplement pharmaceutical supplies. Doesn't specify the local resources are herbs administered by unauthorized practitioner. Thompson presses. What local resources? What supplemental treatments? Hayes decides honesty is better than evasion. Introduces her to Kin Saw. Explains Artemisia treatment. Shows recovery statistics. 147 treated, 139 recovered, 94.6% success rate, faster recovery than quinine, no pharmaceutical supply chain required. Thompson examines the data. Interviews treated soldiers. Reviews Kin Saw's preparation methods. The evidence is compelling. Artemisia treatment works. Works better than standard treatment under current conditions. But Thompson is medical officer. She knows regulations. Unauthorized medical practice. Unapproved treatments. Civilian practitioner without credentials. This violates multiple protocols. She should report Hayes for court-martial. Should shut down the operation immediately. She also knows medicine. Knows that 94.6% recovery rate saves lives. Knows soldiers prefer treatment that works over treatment that's approved. She makes decision. October 25th, she writes report. Documents Artemisia treatment. Shows statistical outcomes. Recommends formal clinical evaluation before discontinuation. The report goes to Medical Command. November 1943. They read about traditional herbal treatment producing superior outcomes to standard protocols. Read recommendations for formal evaluation. Medical Command response. Traditional medicine evaluation requires resources not available in active theater. However, statistical outcomes warrant continued observation. Authorize temporary continuation of supplemental treatments pending resource availability for formal study. Temporary continuation, pending formal study. Translation, keep doing it, but we're not officially approving it. If it fails later, we never authorized it. If it succeeds, we'll take credit. Hayes and Kin Saw continue operations. November 1943, May 1944. Malaria season intensifies. Monsoon brings mosquitoes. Cases surge. Kin Saw treats 340 patients. 322 complete recoveries. 18 deaths or partial recoveries. Success rate, 94.7%. The Artemisia treatment becomes essential. Quinine supplies remain inadequate. Artemisia fills the gap. Soldiers survive because traditional medicine works when pharmaceutical medicine isn't available. June 1944. Admiral Mountbatten visits Burma theater, reviews medical operations, sees low malaria mortality statistics, compliments Medical Command on excellent disease control. Medical Command credits improved quinine distribution and enhanced mosquito control measures. They don't mention Artemisia. Don't mention Kin Saw. Don't explain that most malaria recoveries use traditional medicine that medical doctrine rejects. Mountbatten accepts the official explanation, returns to headquarters, writes commendation for medical command, praises their malaria control success. The commendation mentions neither artemisia nor Kin Saw, just improved distribution and enhanced control. Private David Rodriguez, 23 years old, British Infantry, July 1944. Rodriguez develops malaria, severe case, high fever, vomiting, weakness. He's evacuated to Hayes's hospital, expects quinine treatment, expects week-long recovery, expects misery. Instead, Burmese woman gives him bitter tea, artemisia infusion, tastes terrible, but within 24 hours his fever drops. By 36 hours he feels functional. By 48 hours he's walking. By 72 hours he's ready to return to duty. He asks Hayes, "What was that medicine? That worked faster than anything I've seen." Hayes explains, traditional Burmese anti-malarial, Artemisia annua, used for centuries, more effective than quinine for early-stage malaria. Rodriguez asks, "Why don't we use this everywhere? Why is quinine standard if this works better?" Hayes says, "Because it's not approved by Western medical authorities. Because traditional medicine isn't considered real medicine. Because bureaucracy prefers familiar failures to unfamiliar successes." Rodriguez says, "That's stupid. This saved my life faster than quinine would have." Hayes agrees. "It is stupid, but that's military bureaucracy. The medicine works. The bureaucracy doesn't care." August 1944. Allied offensive operations intensify. Japanese forces retreating. British forces advancing. Malaria remains constant threat. Soldiers fighting disease and enemy simultaneously. Kin Saw's artemisia treatment supports operations. Soldiers treated quickly. Return to duty quickly. Combat effectiveness maintained. The herbal medicine provides tactical advantage. Faster recovery means more soldiers available for operations. September 1944. Medical Command finally authorizes formal study. Assigns research team to evaluate artemisia treatment. September 15th, November 15th. Controlled study. Artemisia versus quinine. Standard clinical protocol. Results. Artemisia reduces fever in 38 hours average. Quinine reduces fever in 96 hours average. Artemisia recovery rate, 94.3%. Quinine recovery rate, 87.6%. Artemisia requires no pharmaceutical supply chain. Grows locally. Can be prepared in field conditions. Study conclusion. Artemisia annua extract demonstrates superior efficacy for early-stage Plasmodium falciparum malaria compared to quinine sulfate under theater operational conditions. Recommend approval for field use pending additional safety studies. Superior efficacy. Recommend approval. The study confirms what Kin Saw demonstrated for 18 months. Artemisia works better than quinine. December 1944. Medical Command reviews study. Debates approval. Traditional medicine is problematic, not pharmaceutical grade. Dosage standardization difficult. Preparation methods inconsistent. Safety data limited, but operational effectiveness is undeniable. 94% recovery rate, faster than quinine. Locally available. No supply chain required. The tactical advantages outweigh pharmaceutical concerns. January 1945. Medical Command issues limited approval. Artemisia annua extract authorized for field treatment of uncomplicated malaria in forward areas where pharmaceutical antimalarials are unavailable or supply limited. Treatment must be administered by personnel trained in preparation and dosage protocols. Limited approval. Forward areas only. When pharmaceuticals unavailable. It's approval, but minimal approval. Restricted approval. Approval that implies artemisia is inferior substitute for proper medicine. February 1945. War in Burma approaching conclusion. Japanese forces collapsing. Allied victory approaching. Malaria remains threat, but treatment is now available. Artemisia is approved. Soldiers survive. March 1945. Captain Hayes submits final medical report. Summarizes 24 months of artemisia treatment. Documents 864 patients treated. 818 complete recoveries. 94.7% success rate. Compares favorably to quinine outcomes. Recommends continued use and expanded training. The report goes to Medical Command, April 1945. They acknowledge the results. File the report. Don't publicize it. Don't distribute it widely. Just file and forget. May 1945. Germany surrenders. Burma campaign continues. August 1945. Japan surrenders. War ends. Medical operations wind down. Kinsaw's treatment operations end. No more malaria patients. No more Artemisia infusions. She returns to civilian medical practice. Treats Burmese civilians. Uses same medicines that saved British soldiers. Traditional medicine that works. September 1945. British Army conducts after-action review of medical operations in Burma theater. Reviews disease management, casualty treatment, pharmaceutical logistics. The review section on malaria control states, malaria mortality rates in Burma theater remained below projected levels through effective quinine distribution, enhanced mosquito control programs, and improved field sanitation protocols. Theater-wide malaria mortality, 4.7%, versus projected 15–18%. Effective quinine distribution. Enhanced mosquito control. Improved sanitation. No mention of Artemisia. No mention that most malaria recoveries in Arakan sector use traditional medicine. No mention of Kinsaw treating 864 soldiers with 94.7% success rate. Captain Hayes objects. He documented Artemisia treatment extensively, submitted reports for 24 months. Medical Command authorized formal study. Study confirmed Artemisia superiority, yet after-action review credits quinine and mosquito control. He submits objection. September 20th, 1945. States, malaria mortality reduction in Arakan sector primarily attributable to Artemisia-based treatment administered by civilian herbalist Kinsaw. Treatment of 864 cases with 94.7% recovery rate significantly exceeded quinine-based outcomes. Recommend appropriate recognition and documentation. The objection goes to Medical Command Headquarters. They acknowledge receipt. The after-action review is not modified. Official attribution remains quinine distribution and mosquito control. October 1945. British government recognizes civilian contributions to war effort. Kinsaw is nominated by Hayes and Thompson. The British Colonial Administration awards her Member of the British Empire Medal. November 1945. The medal recognizes civilian service. The citation reads, "For dedicated service to Allied medical operations in Burma, Kinsaw provided valuable assistance to military medical personnel through botanical expertise and local knowledge." Botanical expertise, local knowledge. The citation doesn't specify malaria treatment, doesn't specify 864 soldiers, doesn't specify 94.7% recovery rate superior to pharmaceutical treatment. Just botanical expertise. She receives medal at ceremony in Rangoon. Proud of recognition. Returns to medical practice. Continues treating patients with traditional medicines. The medals sit in her home. She doesn't display them publicly. She's not proud of British recognition. She's proud of saved lives. In 1949, British Army publishes Official Medical History of Burma Campaign. Includes section on disease management, reviews malaria control efforts, alternative treatments mentioned. One paragraph. Page 521. States, some forward medical units experimented with local herbal preparations to supplement pharmaceutical anti-malarials during supply shortages. One unit reported favorable outcomes using Artemisia-based infusions, though formal standardization proved difficult. Some units experimented, reported favorable outcomes. The paragraph acknowledges it existed. Doesn't explain 864 patients treated. Doesn't explain 94.7% success rate. Doesn't name Kinsaw. In 1972, Chinese researchers announce artemisinin isolation from Artemisia annua. The compound is powerful anti-malarial, more effective than quinine. They publish research. Medical community recognizes Artemisia as legitimate anti-malarial treatment. Kinsaw is still alive. She reads about artemisinin discovery. Reads that Western scientists discovered what Burmese healers knew for centuries. Reads that Artemisia is now considered real medicine, now that Western scientists isolated the compound. now that pharmaceutical companies can patent it. She doesn't comment publicly, just thinks. I told them. 1943. British doctors didn't believe traditional medicine. Now Western scientists confirm it. 29 years later. After 864 soldiers were saved with medicine doctors said wasn't real. Kinsaw died in 1979. Age 87. She practiced traditional medicine until 1977. Retired at 85. Died 2 years later. Complications from stroke. Her obituary mentions traditional healing practice. Her member of British Empire Medal. Her work with British Medical Corps during war. Says she assisted military medical operations. Doesn't specify malaria treatment. Doesn't mention 864 soldiers. Doesn't mention that traditional medicine she practiced saved more lives than pharmaceutical supplies. Just assisted operations. Artemisinin is standard malaria treatment today. WHO approved. First-line treatment for severe malaria. Millions of lives saved. The compound comes from Artemisia annua, the plant Kinsaw used in 1943. Medical textbooks credit Chinese researchers for artemisinin discovery in 1972. They don't mention Burmese healers using Artemisia for centuries. Don't mention Kinsaw treating 864 British soldiers during WW2. Don't mention traditional medicine worked before Western science explained why. British Army medical history says malaria control succeeded through quinine distribution and mosquito control. That's official record. Kinsaw isn't in it by name. Her Artemisia treatment saved 864 soldiers. Her traditional medicine worked better than pharmaceuticals. Her knowledge preceded Western discovery by 29 years. And medical history credits quinine distribution. Captain Hayes knew truth. Documented repeatedly. His reports were filed and minimally acknowledged. Lieutenant Commander Thompson knew Artemisia produced superior outcomes. Her study confirmed it. Study was filed and restricted. Everyone who encountered truth knew traditional medicine worked. Nobody successfully got it into official record with Kinsaw's name attached. Official record says, effective quinine distribution and enhanced mosquito control. Real record says, Burmese herbalist treated 864 malaria cases with traditional Artemisia preparation and achieved 94.7% recovery rate superior to pharmaceutical treatment. Both technically true. Quinine distribution existed. Mosquito control existed. But 864 soldiers in Arakan sector survived because traditional healer knew Artemisia cures fevers. Official record doesn't say that. Says quinine distribution. Accurate, misleading. Kinsaw saved 864 Allied soldiers using traditional medicine. British medical doctrine rejected. Admiral Mountbatten credited improved distribution. Hayes tried to get her recognized. Army attributed success to pharmaceutical logistics. An official record says, effective quinine distribution and enhanced mosquito control. That's what she gets. Member of British Empire Medal. Citation saying botanical expertise. One paragraph, page 521, saying some units experimented. Medical textbooks that credit Chinese discovery 29 years after she used it. No recognition that traditional medicine worked before Western science validated it. No recognition she treated 864 soldiers before artemisinin was isolated. No recognition Burmese herbalism saved lives pharmaceutical supply chains couldn't save. Just quinine distribution, mosquito control, Chinese discovery 1972. The Artemisia plants, remember. Every soldier Kinsaw treated, every infusion she prepared, every fever she cured with medicine doctors said wasn't real. 864 soldiers, 94.7% recovery rate, 24 months operations, 29 years before Western science confirmed it. An official record says, effective quinine distribution. Kinsaw and her herbs. Most effective malaria treatment in Arakan campaign. One paragraph in Army medical history crediting some units. That's all she gets. That's what traditional healers get for saving British soldiers with medicine Western doctors don't believe in, medal and paragraph. The Artemisia knew who prepared the infusions, even if official history doesn't. 864 soldiers lived because herbalists understood that Artemisia annua contains compounds Western medicine hadn't discovered yet. Official history says it was quinine and mosquito control. The Artemisia knew it was Kin Saw with traditional knowledge and plant extracts. That's truth. That doesn't appear in official record under her name. Just effective quinine distribution. Enhanced mosquito control. Chinese discovery 1972. And Kin Saw returns to treating Burmese civilians like British soldiers never happened, because official record says pharmaceuticals, not herbs, says logistics, not healers, says discovery, not knowledge. The traditional medicine remembers, even when history forgets.